Because Reddit co-founder Alex Ohanian, he is not going to let it slide if you weigh in on his marriage to Serena Williams, because sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, he made this mistake months ago, saying he would have divorced the tennis legend over her appearance in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. And Ohanian, well, he actually brought it up again recently with him live on the air. Look at what went down.
I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen, I didn't. People, headlines are headlines.
You hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, Stephen.
He hasn't.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies. And the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So I generally try to stay in my lane.
Oh my gosh, not only did he put Stephen A. Smith in his place about marriage, also the flex of, I'm a billionaire. Yeah. Did you catch that? Anyway, should you only be giving advice on things that you have experience with? Matt, what do you think?
Talk about the background on this, I think, first of all. Stephen A. Smith is ESPN's highest paid personality. He makes almost $40 million a year, reportedly, right? Yeah. He is paid to make headlines. He is paid to make statements like this. And so I don't think it's surprising to anybody that follows sports or otherwise. However, if you make a comment about my wife in a public setting like that, you better believe that I am never, ever going to forget it. And if I have an opportunity where I can make it land like he did, then 100% I'm taking my shot and making it fit. Because at least and he did it, I think, in the proper way. Stephen A. Smith has never been married. He's very closed off about his public life, unless he is absolutely pressed about something. But you're going to stand on a platform like that and insult and and try to give someone else advice on a relationship like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. He doesn't like his daughters being talked about either. He's only recently come out into the public eye with them. And so I think this is, I can't blame him at all. Really, at all, for coming out and saying.
Alexis is good with this.
I think he's totally good to do this.
You know who's also really good? Mrs. Scooby. She got a husband who's like, not on my watch. And you'd figure after the Oscars debacle in 2022, when Chris Rock decided to talk about someone's wife, we all know how that went down with the slap heard around the world, that we learned that we should not talk about people's spouses on television. Stephen A. Smith, did you miss that? Did you forget about that one? But you make a really good point. He has a lot of money and he gets paid to talk about sports.
Right.
But I also think I understand why he felt so emboldened to give his 2 cents on this. This man has never played professional sports a day in his life. He actually is not that quite physically fit, but he's making a lot of money giving his opinion about, sports people and what they do on and off the field. So maybe that's why he felt so emboldened to be like, yeah, and you know what? Since I'm not married, let me tell you what you should do with your marriage. You should leave your wife over some 2-second performance during a halftime Super Bowl, which he really missed the whole mark, which is like Serena was invited to perform because she's also from Compton, California, where Kendrick Lamar, who was the headliner, is also from. That's why she was invited, not because she has something for Drake, which is what Stephen A. Smith was trying to insinuate. But there's a bigger issue with Stephen that's going on right now that I feel like needs to be addressed. He keeps on attacking black women, successful black women who have not said one thing about him. It started off with Serena. He most recently made a comment about this politician in the US called Jasmine Crockett, and he's been called out by the community going, why are you using your huge platform to call out these black women when they said nothing? You know what, I think he's projecting. You know, sometimes when people give you advice, unsolicited advice, it's more about what's going on with them than it actually is the advice that they're giving to people. So Stephen, my question is, who hurt you? What's going on here?
Yeah,
I mean, this obviously he was doing it for shock value. He was doing it because it's part of his brand. He got what he was coming to him by the response that was given by Ohanian. So it's hard to relate to exactly this situation because I don't think this was advice. He wasn't giving advice. He was giving a take. But if we're asking about like whether I think you should give advice, I think only if you are asked for advice. That is the only time you should give advice. And I feel like, even as somebody who, like, I've been in a relationship for 25 years, I am a relationship, like, I've studied a lot, I'm considered an expert in some realms, I still would not give unsolicited advice to somebody unless they were super close and I felt like they were walking into, like, maybe, like, a really bad situation. But I will say this comes up in my relationship a lot, and I'm not sure if women can relate to this, because Jason, it's like he was born, he loves to give advice on everything from, like, how to load the dishwasher to, you know, like, how to, I don't know, wrap a gift. Like,
is it mansplaining? Or is it
the
advice?
question.
No, it's fixing. It's men want to be fixers.
But then the implication there,
No,
Matt,
but I'm going to tell you.
is
Go ahead.
that I'm doing something wrong. And a
Right.
lot of these things are objectively like, is there really a right way to do
No.
this?
No, there's
so
not.
why the need?
So this is like, so for me, and thinking about this, because when we were going to talk about this topic, I've been reflecting a little bit, and so I've always been a fixer. I want to make sure that you're okay. Like if a spouse and everyone, if someone's dealing with something, I want to make sure that you're okay, and I want to be as helpful as possible. However, that was me at a younger age. Coming in now, again, I've been in my relationship for 10 years too. Now when my wife and I go through different parts, if we have conflict or otherwise, or she comes to me and says that I need to talk to you, I am very clear up front. Do you want advice on something, or do you want me just to listen? Right? And so this is what I've discovered in the last few years.
Very smart.
Very smart man.
At the start of the conversation, at very upfront, am I listening and you just need to vent to me about something? Or do you want my advice about something in particular, about a situation that you're dealing with? Because again, I'm happy to give that, but I've learned that it's only, and again, only in certain places. And I'm never gonna give advice on something that I don't know anything about, right? As you heard,
You should call Stephen A. Smith and
yeah.
talk to him. He needs your advice.
But it's just like, in reference to the clip, I'm a billionaire who runs a $1 billion business, and advising people on how to become billion-dollar businesses. That makes sense, right? I love sports. I'm a dad. I have a few areas, maybe somewhat of expertise. I'm happy to go there too.
I've never
but
been
if I
a
don't
politician.
know anything about it,
I feel like a lot of us like to give our thoughts about what politicians are doing. Is that an exception to the rule?
Well, listen, here's the thing about politicians, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's one thing to give advice about, like, you think if you've been married or you're not a parent and you're trying to give parental advice, P.S., don't ever do that to us. Don't ever do that. But I do think that if people in positions of governance, if you are in a very high-profile position where you make public policy that affects people's lives, you better believe you're only getting my vote if you have any credibility in that realm. If you are going to be an education minister, you better have kids. You've got to know your education system, or you've been a teacher. If you are the health minister, I hope that you are a doctor or you have a good team of doctors around you that you are advising. There are a lot of realms where your credibility in that realm comes from life experience, and that's what this comes down to. If you have no life experience in something, don't tell me squat. I don't want to hear it.
Wait.
I don't want to hear it.
Again, you need to talk to President Donald Trump because
he's
he
making
does
a lot of policies.
A lot of policies.
Men
with people
making policies about women's health issues.
who don't know
not
anything.
a good day. Not a good day.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.